Hello everybody and welcome to the start of the new season in our FM19 Journeyman, and we have moved. We have left Torslanda, we have left Sweden, and we are now in Spain in charge of Atletico Pamplona B. It's the B team of Atletico Pamplona, obviously. They are currently in La Liga. They are struggling, so that may have an impact on us, but for now I'm just trying to focus on us. So we are midway through a season because of just when the Swedish league finished, and well, if I take you to the league table, you can see that we are in 19th out of 20 teams on 15 points, about 9 points clear of relegation, or off of relegation, sorry. This is going to be difficult. This is going to be really hard. I've told the club that I will try to avoid relegation. Yeah, I don't know why either, but I think it's doable. We exceeded expectations massively at Torslanda. I think we can do it again. So, yeah, I'm quite a little bit optimistic. I don't know. I think it is going to be really hard. I think it's going to be really difficult. But I'm looking forward to the challenge. And as good as Torslanda was, I sort of didn't see where I could take that team anymore. I didn't see how I could improve that team without making drastic changes and doing things that would have just made it not Torslanda for me. Like, there would have been no point in staying when I could have just moved upwards to a different team. So Torslanda were a 1-star reputation team. Atletico Pamplona B are 1.5 stars, so there's a slight improvement there, which is kind of nice, to be honest. But the biggest thing is, without a shadow of a doubt, they are letting me study for my Continental C license, which is crucial. I did ask again at Torslanda before I left, because they came at me with, like, some... So this is basically how it went. Let me just go through the backstory a little bit. I was applying to a load of jobs while still at Torslanda and getting nowhere. So I was sort of going through lower league Spain, or Spanish, Italian and French teams. And then I sort of branched out to Belgium, Holland and Portugal. And then I started looking in other continents. So like South America was the big one. I was looking around Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil. And we had a few interviews, but they all just didn't go anywhere. And so I left. I left Torslanda, and because I was applying for jobs, they came at me with a little, like, offer to stay kind of thing, like a new contract, which was improved. And the first thing I did was just go on my profile and try and get the Continental C license going, and they just wouldn't have it. And if I can't progress myself, I feel like there's no point in being at that club anymore. Like, the point of this isn't to build a club up to being the top club, it's to build us up to being a top manager. And that wasn't going to happen at Torslanda. So, we've moved. We are at Atletico Pamplona B, and we are studying for our Continental C license, which will be massive in helping trying to improve our reputation. So, I think the best way to do this, I'm going to try and make this a little bit quicker than what it's been in the past. I'm going to go through the players, which I think are going to be starters or play an important role from the bench. And rather than just going through everyone, because otherwise you get players like Skoglund and... who else did we have? Cadavar and Anderson, who just never played. Like, there's no reason to go through a player who's never going to play. So, let's get stuck in, and let's try and... Well, let's go through who I think the main players are going to be. So, this is our goalkeeper, Beñat Perez, and as you can see, he doesn't look great on paper. Now, I will say, Asmar didn't look great on paper, and he was fine. So, I'm not like, completely... throwing him away yet. He isn't great, but the thing that worries me more is this. If you look down here, you can see he's played 19 games this season, conceded 42 goals, and has a 5.98 average rating. 5.98. It's not very good, is it? Now, obviously, we have joined in February. We joined about 4 in-game days ago. So we aren't in a transfer window. So I can't sign anyone better. And I've already raided our youth team and our affiliate for just anything that would help us, because there are other issues like this in the team. This is our only goalkeeper, though. This is our only goalkeeper. I'm not confident. I'm hoping it turns out better than I think it's going to. So, our right back, Ibrahima Liboli. Or Liboui. I will figure out how to say that at some point. The star rating seems harsh. He seems fine. Like, he seems okay. Nothing amazing, but yeah, he seems decent. He doesn't have too much really going for him in the way of stats, but everything sort of balances out quite nicely. There's nothing that's too dreadful. Marking is probably the biggest worry since he wants to be a defensive fullback who can't mark. I'm just sort of ignoring him and I'm going to put him on support and just let him run up and down. We're probably going to concede a lot of goals from crosses. I'll tell you right now that neither of our fullbacks are very good. But he's only 20 years old. He has room to develop a little bit. He has some decent physicals. He's at least quite quick off the march. Or off the mark, not off the march. He's got different balance, natural fitness. He can jump a little bit. He can run a little bit. He's not terrible. He's just doesn't really shine anywhere. And I think that might be his downfall. But similar situation to a goalkeeper, he is the only right back in the club. I can't sign anyone, and the people in the under-19s are just useless. So I've rated every good player from the under-19s. There is nobody there left who's anything worth looking at. So, yeah, I'm not sure how good he's going to be. Hopefully, he can pull through. He's on a 6.38 for the season now. I think we can get that up a little bit. So if you want this situation to get even worse, I will now tell you that this is one of only 2 centre-backs at the club. The other one is obviously playing alongside him. This is Julio Pelli. He is absolutely dreadful. He looks awful. He looks awful. I see no quality in this player. I don't know what he's good at. He can't run. He can sort of tackle and head and mark a little bit. He's got no strength. He's got 12 jumping reach for a 6'4" centre back, which is terrible. Normally that'd be up in like sort of the 14s sort of area. His positioning's pretty decent. He's got some good decisions. His mentals are probably his highest attributes, which isn't saying much when you look at them. He's averaging a 6.44 for the season, which, well, you know, the less said about that, the better. I'm hoping he surprises me. I hope he does better than I expect. He's got room to grow. He's only 21. I just think he looks so uninspiring. Like, I think he's going to cause us problems. Our defence is the worst part of our team. I'll tell you that right now. Things get better. Hopefully, he does better than I think he will. Finally, a defender with a little bit about him. This is Emmanuel Jericho. 4-star current ability with potential to improve. Only 20 years old. We have a very young squad. Partially because most of them came from our under-19s. I'm not going to lie. But he has some good defensive attributes. 13 heading, 10 tackling, and 11 marking are all fine. 13 positioning is very good. And then some good concentration, decisions, things like that too. And then his physicals are just fine. They're just, you know, some of them are really good. Like 13 pace and acceleration is very quick for a centre-back. 10 strength is passable. 11 jumping reach is again passable. Good agility for a centre-half. Not that that'll matter too much. He can't play a ball. That's annoying. He has 5 passing. No vision. He doesn't work very hard. He has his downsides, put it that way. But it looks like he has a little bit about him. He should be at least usable. I don't think he'll be too problematic. He's our best defender. I'm going to try and be positive about him. He's going to be great. He's going to carry us to many wins through his rock-solid defending. Remember I said the last guy was our only good defender? I wasn't kidding. Because remember how we only had 1 goalkeeper, 1 right-back and 2 centre-backs? It carries on. We've only got 1 left-back too. We've got Julian Casado. And he's, well, if the centre-half was bad, yeah, he's not great. So let's cover the elephant in the room. Those technical attributes are dreadful. They are utterly useless. Again, he can't really mark, he can't pass, he can't cross. He's tackling at 9 is his best technical attribute, which is just useless. He only has 3 that are 8 or higher. He has no technical ability. I'm not sure why he's a footballer. Now, if he was a sprinter, he might be alright, because 10 acceleration, 14 pace makes for a pretty quick player getting up and down the sides. 13 natural fitness and 12 stamina is, again, it should allow him to do that quite well. He's on the shorter side, so he doesn't have much height or much jumping reach, and he doesn't weigh much either, so he doesn't have any strength. But I'm hoping he can do okay. He has no end product at all. I'm just hoping he can just sort of keep things ticking and be there if he needs to be. 8 positioning's awful too while we're at it. He's not very good. Our defence is going to be dreadful. We're going to have to win every game like 9-8. It's going to be silly. Our attack is quite good. Just wait till we get there. One thing I forgot to mention about Julian Casado is on a 5.92 average rating for the season. I would love to be able to drop him. We have no other left-backs. We can't play 3 at the back because we only have 2 centre-backs. It's difficult. Very difficult. So this is a controversial one. This is a Nico Martinez. Now, why is this controversial, I hear you asking? Because he doesn't look too bad, right? He's a ball-winning midfielder. He's got good tackling. He's got 7 passing, which is useless, but, you know, he can keep play ticking over. He can win it back. He's got good work rate and teamwork. Why is this controversial? I'll show you why. He's on a 5.90 average. Oh, but loads of players on your team are on low averages. Maybe the last manager just wasn't very good. Yeah, the problem is he wasn't playing for us. He was playing for our affiliate club, who are rubbish. And they're playing rubbish teams. I don't know if we can see their past matches. But, sorry, what league are they in? I didn't even catch that. What league are they in? 3D. They're in 3D. Well, they've got all their dimensions. That's good. Yeah, it's problematic, really, is the way I would put it. But he just looks quite good. He looks perfectly fine. We needed more midfielders. You might have gathered that squad depth was not our strong point. It's better than it was. It's still not good. I've mentioned a couple of his attributes already. He's got some solid ones in there. Good free kicks on him as well. Some very good mentals, actually, especially for a 17-year-old. His teamwork, positioning, work rate. 17 bravery is great. The only issue with him is he won't really develop too much because of that 5 determination, but he's not terrible. He should be perfectly fine to just, like I say, win the ball back and keep it ticking over. His physicals are perfectly good too. And the reason I think he will be good at that job is because of the person who's next to him. So this is Jose Antonio Ramirez, and in my eyes, he looks excellent. He looks like the type of player we need, and I'm glad I saw him because, well, let's say it how it is. The back 6 aren't very good. The players behind him, Martinez might be alright, but I pulled him from our affiliate club, so that's how low we were reaching. But he has some very good technical attributes: passing, first touch, finishing, crossing, corners, technique, and he's got some great physicals too. Pace, stamina, acceleration, all very good. He doesn't really have any major weaknesses. And then his mentals, again, they're just really good for a playmaker. Decisions, vision, teamwork. He's got work rate that's like high enough. Good anticipation. None of his others are too bad, which I think is what really makes up for it. Like, he doesn't really have any bad stats outside of his long throws, which who cares, and his bravery, which is negligible, really. It's not a big deal. So I think he's going to be really good. Now, he is the highest rated player on the team, both in terms of star rating and his average rating for the season. He's on a 7.18, which when you consider there's been like 5.9s littered through the squad, 7.18 is pretty impressive. So I'm really hoping he can have quite a big impact. He's only played 9 games for us this season, so I don't know if he's been injured, but hopefully, you know, he can just, yeah, he can be a core playmaker in our side, and he can help some of our attackers get some chances, which they should be able to put away. The other thing to note about him is he is very highly valued at £110,000. I'm hoping he could prove he's worth that. So, something we haven't done for a while since we were at Torslanda, we are using wingers, and this is our right winger, Ibai Aroki. Now, he's a pretty decent player, I'm not going to lie. There's nothing that, like, he has problems, but he's good. What he's really good at is running. He is an excellent runner. He has 14 dribbling, 14 first touch. He has 14 pace, 14 acceleration. He loves his 14s. He's also massive. He's 6'5" with 15 jumping reach. He's very good physically. He's got good balance, agility, strength. Like, across the board, he's just a really good physical player. And then he's got a couple of good mentals in there to boot. Again, the work rate, the vision, the decisions, like, those are all really good. The issue is he has no end product. Passing at 10 is his best sort of finishing attribute. Then 6 finishing is useless. He can't score. 9 crossing isn't very good either. Like, he's really good at doing things with the ball as long as it involves him keeping it. But as soon as he has to put it in a net or give it someone else, it's just going to fall apart. But you've got to play him, right? Like, we do have other right wing options and they may feature if he doesn't impress. But he just looks like he has so much about him that something's just telling me it's going to work. If it doesn't, we can drop him. It's fine. The attacking areas we have a fair bit of depth in, but for now, I think he's worth using. So, yeah, he's going to be used. For the season, he's on a 6.83 average rating, which isn't too bad. He's played 24 games and got 4 goals and 5 assists for himself. So he does have something there. There's a bit of end product somewhere. It's just not shining through very much. He's played every game of the season so far, though, so hopefully he can keep doing that. This is a player I am very excited about because I pulled him from our under-19s, and as soon as I saw his attributes, I just threw him straight in the first team. He's amazing. He's 16 years old, Gorka Etsabalia, and he just looks really good. He plays as an attacking midfielder. His mentals are insane for his age. And he has 12 determination, so they're probably going to improve even more. But 15 decisions, 15 teamwork, 15 vision, and 12 work rate, with 8 off the ball, which isn't great, but it's not dreadful, especially for a 16-year-old. 12 flair as well. He's really good mentally for someone of his age. And then his physicals are, like, fine too. They're not standout, but, 10 pace and 12 acceleration, he's reasonably quick. 11 strength, he can hold his own, he can hold a ball up. 12 jumping reach, he can win a lot of long balls. He's not short or weak, which is weird for sort of a fast attacking midfielder. You'd sort of expect him to be quite easy to shove around. No. And then his technical stats are, again, very good. 12 technique, 11 passing, he's got good first touch at 11, he can finish with 10, he's got good heading at 11, there's just a lot about him. Dribbling at 8's a little bit lower than I would have liked, but it's still fine, it's still passable. The thing is, he comes across as, quite a technical playmaker, almost like a Santi Cazorla or David Silva-esque player. But then he's really physical too. He's got the speed, he's got the strength, he's got the height, he just seems so rounded, but not in that normal sense where you say, oh, he's well-rounded, as if, he doesn't excel at anything. It's more like he just sort of is good at everything. He's not outstanding at anything, but he just seems really good at everything, and I think he's going to be amazing. I'm not going to lie. I think he's going to, at the end of the season, we're going to look back and go, he was a key reason why we stayed in this league, because that's what we're going to do. So yeah, Gorka Etsabalia. His name is really fun to say too, so I'm going to refer to him by it all the time. So, left winger Ismail, 4.5-star player with the ability to improve, 21 years old. Like I said, it's a very young team. And there's one problem with him, which is he's a left winger. If he was an inside forward on the right, he would be brilliant because he's got some really good end product with 13 finishing. He's got, really good dribbling stats, 15 dribbling, 14 acceleration, 13 pace, 14 first touch, 12 technique, 12 flair, 11 off the ball. He should be really good in theory. The issue is he's just playing on the wrong side. Now, that doesn't mean he won't score at all. He has bagged himself 5 goals this season, but yeah, he looks good to me. I'm hoping he can be quite a key goal scorer for us, if nothing else, just because of that finishing and his ability to get into good positions through his off the ball and his speed. So, high hopes for him, really. I'm thinking he's going to be quite good. He's got a 6.77 for the season so far, which is certainly, it's not terrible when you consider the defence. So, yeah, I think he's going to be quite good. I'm optimistic about him. The other thing is he is our penalty taker on 16 penalties, which is ridiculous. I'm hoping he can be quite a key contributor in the goals department for us. And we find another player who I pulled from our under-19s, literally yanked him straight out of there. Jose Manuel Galdiano sounds better, I'm going with that one. And he just looks good. He's 16 years old and he looks good. What more do you want? He has good physicals. A couple of them are obviously a bit low. The strength, the jumping reach, he's definitely quite weak. He's small, he's technical, he's tricky, but he's not a big brute, win all the balls, hold them up, and then do all that stuff with them. No, he's very much a, give me the ball, I will run with it, I will take players on, and I will score. It's that straightforward. He has very good technicals with 12 finishing, 12 first touch. He's got a good free kick on him. He can head a ball. He just can't reach them because he has 5 jumping reach, which is unfortunate, but it's not a bad thing for him to have high heading, even if his jumping reach is low. If he gets a free header, he can score it. Good. And then, decent passing as well with 10. His mentals are the worry, but his off the ball's quite good. His flair's quite good. He's got, some others in there that are just a little bit average, teamwork, work rate, and then all of the ones in basically the upper half of the list. So, I think he's going to be quite good. I think he should be able to score a fair few. Like I said, we don't have a rating or any goal stats for him because he's only played non-competitive games because we yanked him from our under-19s. So, maybe he'll do something, maybe he won't. I have high hopes, but we have a ton of strikers. No wonder we have no centre-backs. We have 9 strikers at the club. I'm not even joking. Some of them we can't play because they either came from our first team and we can't register them because they're already registered for a club. Not our first team, but Atletico Pamplona A. We just can't play them because they're registered for another club. Or they're injured or something like that, or they're in our under-19s and they're still good, but there's no reason to put them in the first team. We have a lot of strikers. So that's the starting 11. I'll go through a couple of the substitutes who I think might feature quite heavily now. So this is Ivan Barbero, and he can play at left wing or at striker, and he just looks like quite a solid all-round player. Physical's very good. Mental's solid-ish. The teamwork worries me. It's one of those stats that I put quite a lot of stock into, so that being quite low worries me, but he has other good attributes that sort of weigh that out, if that makes sense. And then dribbling, finishing, technique, all very high, good first touch, decent crossing. He should be a good player. He can come on off the bench, or if any of our other players don't perform, we can start him. The reason I'm not starting him is because he's a winger or a striker. He's played 24 games this season and got 2 goals and 2 assists. It's not very good. 6.77 average rating, which is, again, not very good. So, it's better than a lot of our defence, don't get me wrong, but there are just players there who have more potential than him in both his roles. If we need him, we will play him and he might impress. Maybe the change of system that we're going to implement will persuade him to play better. He's 22 years old and valued at 100k. So I think there is something about him. I think he is going to be, I think he'll do alright for us. It's just whether or not he will earn himself a starting spot. So, Alvaro Muro is a striker who's on our bench, so he's probably going to play a fair bit because I just have a habit of bringing on strikers. I don't know, he's a poacher who isn't very fast, and to me, in my mind, that just doesn't really work. But at the same time, he has some good attributes in there. His heading, his finishing. He's not short, but he doesn't have much jumping reach. He's 5'11", and with only 7 jumping reach, which again, similar to the striker who we actually are playing, it sort of wastes the heading a little bit, but if he has any open headers, then he'll be able to score them. Really good mentals in there, though. 14 composure and 14 off the ball are very, very good for a striker, combined with quite high flair. Decent enough work rate, just barely. Again, quite low teamwork and vision, which is unfortunate, but I'm hoping that if we do need to rely on him, he can do something. Probably won't feature too much, but I thought it was worth pointing him out because I probably will definitely bring him on at some point. Daniel Santafe, he'll play because there's our third central midfielder. Now, you'll probably pick this up. That makes him our last central midfielder. We have a really, really thin squad in most areas apart from striker. He will probably feature at points. It depends on how well the other central midfielders do. The issue is he isn't too great in this sort of defensive role. He says he could play there naturally, but then he can't play any role over 50%. So figure that one out because I haven't got a clue. But I'm hoping he can just contribute when we need him to, basically. His stats are fine. His stats are actually just fine across the board. Passing's dreadful, which is worrying for a playmaker. Other than that, everything's kind of okay. It's just he has no end product. But yeah, he will definitely make appearances. It's just a case of how frequently and when. So this is our backup right winger, Inigo Agile. He looks fine. He will play at points because he's our only other right winger if we need to give the current one a break. I'm still learning names, which is why you'll hear me use things like the current one and our starter and things like that. I'm still not fully familiar with names, but not just by memory anyway. But yeah, he will feature at points. He doesn't look anything too special, but he should be fine when he needs to play. So that's pretty much all the players who are going to be playing I want to cover, but there's a couple more that I feel the need to touch on. So this is Juan Villar. Now you're looking at him and thinking, oh, why isn't he playing? The problem is he's registered for our for Atletico Pamplona in La Liga, so we can't register him, which is annoying because he'd be really good. I'm not going to go through his stats, but he looks amazing across the board. He's played 2 games for Atletico Pamplona, and then they sent him down to us, and we can't use him. He looks good. He's 32 years old, but he looks good. It's a shame we don't have him available to us. So this is the more annoying one. We have a really good central midfielder, someone who could partner Jose Antonio Ramirez and be quite good, apart from the fact we've loaned him out to El Ejido. Who are El Ejido, you're asking? Well, they're in the Spanish Second Division B4, which is the equivalent of our league, just somewhere else. Annoying, because I would quite like to have him. Can we recall him? Take over existing loan deal. What does that do? Don't know what that does, I'm not going to lie to you. Oh. He doesn't want... Okay, someone in the comments tell me what that does, because I have no idea. I just figured there was a chance to get him back, and I might as well try and take it. So, we don't have him available to us. It's annoying that we've loaned him out, because I would like him. Shame. It's a shame. He would be nice. So, that is the team. You can see all the other players here if I hide myself and just see... That's our affiliate club. But yeah, you can see all the player ratings in case I forgot to show any, all the ones from the bench and the reserves. There's a couple that sort of stand out and may play a little bit, notably even Barbero looks like he might be something. There's a couple that obviously haven't played for us yet because they just got yanked from our other club. So, they look alright. I think we look quite good. We're playing a vertical tiki-taka in a 4-2-3-1. This midfield looks like no one's in it, but that won't be how it actually functions, so it's fine. We're trying to sort of do what we did at Torslanda, just somewhere else and with different players and a different team and a different formation. Sounds silly in theory, but I think it might work. So, things that are worrying me. We're playing with quite a high defensive line, and our centre-backs aren't very good. I think we might get a lot of balls go over the top and we're going to concede them. It's inevitable. You can say that, like, oh, you shouldn't play your defensive line so high. They can't pass either, so that would just put them further away from the midfielders and we would give away balls to just random awful passes. It's a little bit of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Whichever one we choose is just, it's going to screw us over in one way or another. So, yeah, that's sort of the situation we're stuck in. The other main worry is obviously, as I've touched on, our defence is rubbish and our goalkeeper's rubbish. And there's a lot of 5.9s in the squad, in the starting 11, that I'm hoping aren't real, in a way. Like, I'm hoping when we put them on the pitch with our tactics playing for us, they're going to be quite good. Now, positives, the sort of front six-ish. Yeah, I'd say the front six. I quite like Enrico Martinez, I'm not going to lie. They're all quite good. They're all pretty good. The players who I'm particularly excited about are the ones who I pulled out the youth team myself, Gorka Etsabaria and Galdiano. I think Etsabaria is going to be amazing. I don't know why, I have such high hopes for him. If he's bad, I'm going to be so upset. The other sort of worry is I don't really know where the goals are going to come from if Galdiano isn't very good and Barbero isn't very good. We just don't have much end product throughout the team is the biggest worry for me. I'm hoping it doesn't become too much of an issue, but we'll find out. So, the big question is, what are we expected to do? What are they asking of us? So, I've shown you the league table already, but here it is again. We've played 24 games in the league and we are on 11 points off of safety. We have quite a bit of work to do. Now, positives. We have Europa to play. The other positive is we aren't Europa, who are on 4 points after 24 games. That's worse than we were at Berwick. In case you just wanted that out there, we were better than that at Berwick, where we won 1 game. Like, they're rubbish, okay? They are useless, and we still have to play them. So that should be a free 3 points in theory. The problem is we have to play the majority of these teams above us, which isn't that bad, because every one of those games is basically a 6-pointer. It's just going to be very stressful. Like, every game is going to feel like a cup final, because they're all 6-pointers. We need to catch up and overtake all of these teams. I also really like the fact there's a team called Badalona that are just not very good. That just makes me happy. They've got bad in their name. So, yeah, I think we're going to be alright. I think we can pull ourselves out of this. Now, the problem is, and I might be wrong on this, I'll pull it up now just to check, but from what I understand, there has to be 2 leagues between us and our A team. And they're looking like they're going to get relegated. So even if we stay up, we might get bumped down anyway, which is annoying. Can I see it anywhere? I'm not seeing it. Disciplinary rules, relegation. No, I don't see it anywhere, which is annoying, but... maybe it's not the case in Football Manager. Maybe it's just not. That would be nice. But, yeah, all we need to do is, well, if we pull back this competition screen, we don't even need to stay up. We need to fight bravely against relegation. So we just need to not be rubbish. I'm quite confident we can not be rubbish. I don't know. I'm hoping we can not be rubbish. So, I mean, if we just go through what we've done so far. Oh, this will hurt you because it hurt me. We recently went through a run of 5 games without scoring. That's not great. Giulio Peri scored 2 in this game. Now, I'm not sure if you remember because it is a new team, so don't worry if you don't. Giulio Peri is a centre-half. Also, this has been a very mouse-focused video, and the mouse has been out of sync the whole time. Normally, right, I'll be honest with you. Normally, I'm just going to be completely straight with you all here. You're getting me as a person. Normally, I'd redo this. I'd just say, right, it's been, what, 20 minutes? I'll just scrap this off and redo it. I got a Nintendo Switch today. I'm not going to. I want to go and play Mario Kart. I'm just going to be completely honest with you all. Sorry for how annoying that probably is. I really want to play Mario Kart. Apologies. But so, I just feel it was better to be honest there. Like, yeah, I could have gone and fixed that, or I could have pretended to not notice until after the fact, but I have noticed. I'm not going to redo it anyway. I am very professional, I promise. But here is the team then in terms of the squad, in terms of value, contracts. So if we go to the contracts, obviously João Villar is contracted to our A team, which is why it's on 10 grand a week. Luis Pereira's been loaned out, which is annoying. So our two highest value our two highest contracted players aren't here, which is frustrating. But then Ismail, Barbero, Ramirez, Martinez, they're all kicking around, and the value of our players is actually fairly okay. None of them are sort of world beaters, and Etzeberria should definitely be higher for a 16-year-old with those attributes. But whatever, we'll keep him under the radar. It'll make him easier to keep a hold of, and yeah, the goal is to just do better than the last guy did and don't lose every game you play. I think we should be able to do that. Like I said, we exceeded expectations very heavily at Torslanda. I'm hoping we can do it again. So today will also contain another video. There'll be two videos. I mentioned this at the end of the last one. There will be this one, and there will also be the first two games of the season. So if you want to go and check that out, those will be against a lot and Europa, where I'm hoping we will score a lot. That was awful. I'm keeping it in. But this is very unprofessional. I don't know what I'm doing. One of those moods. It's been a good day. But yeah, we get to play Europa very early on into our managerial time at this club. So I'm hoping, we can... A lot are down there too, by the way. They're on 27 points. They're not too far above us. So if we can potentially pull out maybe a draw and then a win, it'd be a good start. And then we can just sort of try to climb our way up. Now, if we can beat a lot, that would be amazing. But we've only been at the club a couple of days. We've had to... So the biggest problem was I came to the club and we didn't have an assistant manager. So, I'll show you this. Staff. I've hired this assistant manager. It was just me and a doctor. I'm not sure if we're in Doctor Who, where I'm just his companion, but where is everyone? I'm going to have to go and sign some staff because this is silly. We have no scouts. We have no coaches. We have no physios. There's no one here. It's like I've walked into a graveyard. But there are a lot of people in graveyards, technically. They're just not doing a lot. But we're going to end this video here because it's gone on for ages and, as already established, Mario Kart. So I hope you're looking forward to the first two games of the season. Those will be in another video, which is up now. Tomorrow's episode... I don't know why I'm going through tomorrow's episode. There's a video right after this. Yeah, scrap that. Anyway, I hope you've all had a great day. Thank you for watching, and catch the next video right now. Bye.